Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video and the penultimate race of the AOR season here on the PC F1 split. And today we are doing a bit of a challenge for you guys. So essentially we're doing a last question mark challenge, and the reason for that is quite simple. Before I jump into the reason why, you're going to want to check out the previous race at Mexico, guys. A race where, you know, it was pretty historic, and I do recommend checking out before I spoil it for you in the next 10 seconds. So yeah, with that said, we're here at Brazil and I haven't done that much practice, and I'm using qualifying as a bit of a practice session in a way. But basically we're going to do a last question mark challenge because we've already won the championship, so we may as well have a bit of fun with it and see what we can do. So today we have an 18 car grid as I retire from qualifying, and you can see now looking at the final qualifying results, we are going to start from the back. Dylan Warren is joining us at the back of the grid as well in the only Red Bull here today. My teammate Florian Napik is in P8. So if you guys don't know, there is currently a battle for the constructors. So even though the drivers is wrapped up, the constructors title is between myself and my teammate Florian Napik versus Paris and Dylan Warren in the Red Bull. Only one of them has turned up today and he's starting alongside me. So we've got a big chance here to extend our 12-point lead heading into the final race at Abu Dhabi. So there's your grid. You've had a chance to look at it, see where everybody starts. Personally, my pace would have been with 1 minute 6.4, so it would have probably been good enough for like P9, which is not great, but then again, I haven't practiced that much for qualifying. But nonetheless, that's it. We're now going to move into the race. Okay, here we go then. We are at the end of the formation lap, and as you can see, we are starting on the alternate strategy, so mediums to softs. Very simple one-stop strategy around here, and definitely quite effective as well. But here we go, getting ready for the 5 red lights here at Brazil, and away we go for the penultimate round of the AOR season. A pretty average start. Warren gets away pretty well. Most people around us on soft tyres by the looks of it. Down towards turn 1, we're going to just take a bit of a back seat and let everyone battle away here as Warren tries to get past S1 Cent. I believe Warren actually disconnected and he lagged out, so right now it's his AI driving, I believe, and around about this point he takes control, but his tyres are negative 200 degrees, so he moves out the way and lets me go by. The Ferrari there of Zoran off the track as he gets forced wide, and we're going to pick up a couple of places there. Moving on to P16, now into turn 5. There's a bit of contact there between the two Haas cars, and I believe S1 Zent picking up wing damage, and the reaction time on that was absolutely perfect. Really good reaction, avoiding the contact and keeping my front wing in one piece. And now into the hairpin here, we're going to try and send one down the inside of Ben Q. We get squeezed though into the apex, and we have to let it go, but still, good start, P15 for us. And look at this, we've got Zeno P hitting and battling away, and that's bringing myself and Ben Q into the mix. We're going to go around the outside of the Haas here at the final corner, up the hill and across the start finish, but you can see I'm actually refusing to use any more ERS because I want to try and save a lot of it as it's going to be key to this race. Meanwhile, Warren getting back in the mix here, making it 3-1 into turn 1. We're going to take a back seat here again and just be cautious. Hitting and runs it in a bit hot. There's contact again between them all. We're going to go past Ben Q. There's more contact as Warren rejoins into Hinton, and we are through up into P14. And again, experience really in many ways, you know, showing that you can kind of see situations are about to happen, and we avoid contact on lap 1 and also on lap 2 as well. So very good racecraft there. Now after P14, and we're now behind Hittinen in the Mercedes, of course. It's on the hard tyres, which is quite rare around here. You don't really use the hards. They're very slow, and you can make a soft medium or medium soft work quite easily. So a bit of a strange one. Scrippy, his teammate, also going for the same strategy, it seems, in the other Mercedes, but nonetheless, we're now P13, and we're behind Zeno P, who has a bit of oversteer out of the hairpin. And to be fair, I was going to try and pass him on the pit straight, but to my surprise, actually, because I believe Zeno P has wing damage, he pretty much drained his entire ERS battery to stay ahead of me, so I wasn't going to rush into it. I wasn't going to fight it too hard. You know, I'm doing a different race here today, so I kind of left my ERS almost fully charged up. And I'm going to go for this move now on lap 3 because DRS is enabled, so it's going to be a lot easier for us. You can see I'm using just the minimum necessary ERS to get the move done, no more than that, so I keep a lot of charge. And we move up to P12, going around the outside into turn 1 and making the move stick. Up next, we have Scrippy in the other Mercedes, of course, on the hard tyres as well. And as you'd expect, of course, me being on mediums, I had a lot more pace and there was a big advantage on the tyre offset. So you can see going through the final corner, we're 6/10 up on this lap, absolutely flying. And Scrippy, you'll see, actually, he kind of gives me a bit of a sign by moving to the right there. That's telling me, just go through, you know, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to defend. There's no point for me to fight you here today. So it kind of waves me on, lets me go. As we set 1 minute 9.7, and we make a nice easy move down the inside into turn 1, and we're in IP11. At the same time, Christian Sendel up ahead picks up a 3-second time penalty. So looking pretty good, 5 laps in, and we are in the mix, which is very decent. Already 1 position off the points on the mediums, and from P18 to P11 in 5 laps, that is pretty decent in my book. And it's about to get better because a bit of contact here. Unfortunately, my teammate was involved for a nap pick, which is a real shame. He had a bit of contact with Kryzix, I believe, and in the process, because of that contact between the two of them, Michael Tanidze and the Williams got wing damage. So 2 cars in a collision and a third car picking up collateral damage. So we're now P10 and we're about to pick up Kryzix and Michael Tanidze here. And I know for a fact Tanidze has pretty bad wing damage. You'll see now through this section the understeer he's getting, and you can see Kryzix trying to get back past it. So we're going to use that as an opportunity to make a nice little overtake here on Tanidze, who is visibly struggling. We're going to go to the right hand side because he's probably going to pit, so I don't want to get in his way. And we now get the slingshot with the DRS on Kryzix here. So we're going to make a move down towards turn 1. We're going to go to the inside. He does not defend it, so we're going to make a nice easy pass on the brakes. And we are now P8, so we are flying here, making great progress after 6 laps, already in the top 8. And no wing damage, tyres feel great. We've got plenty of VRS as well, as I've not used too much. And yeah, we're now going to settle into a bit of a relaxed phase of this race. So essentially, everything kind of evened out a little bit. You know, the guys in the top 7 were pretty quick on their soft tyres, and I was basically just dragging Kryzix along. Every single lap I was doing a 1 minute 9.8 or 0.7 every single lap. I'll show you the race director in a moment. And the car was going so well. I had a lot of confidence, I felt great. And what I was doing was using no ERS. So at the same time, while catching the cars ahead and trying to pull away from Kryzix, I was using absolutely no ERS. So I was actually doing a good job of that, and the battery was charging quite nicely. But I was able to save about 5 to 6% per lap. And you can see now, lap 10, Duza has disconnected. So we're going to pick up a free position here and move up to P7. Thank you very much. Just going to stick in the slipstream, wait for the DRS, and just use a little bit of energy just to get the move done, because I don't want any dirty air into the first corner. And you can see here now into the first corner, of course, it's technically AI braking for him, so we're going to make a nice easy move, and we're now up to P7. So again, more progress, absolutely flying, and tyres at this stage still feel pretty good. We've got good balance on the car, and you see now lap 13 here. If you look behind Kryzix, we're starting to drop him, and this was a lap where I believe we finally broke DRS. And again, I've done this without using any energy of my own. You can see we've charged the battery up to 70% plus, and now lap 14, a lot of cars are into the pits. Meanwhile, we set yet another 1 minute 9.8 on lap 15, so we're still super consistent with our lap times, and the car working really well. Florian pits as well for good measure, and we are now P4 in this race as we start at overcut on these medium tyres. And this is a key phase of the race now, so we need to go fast and really keep the pace up. So you can see we've got more cars in the pits here as we set another personal best, almost 1 minute 9.7 this time round. So again, keeping that consistency. Jan Freder in the pits, who I believe was the net race leader. Kulachu staying out for one more lap in the Renault as we now P2 in this race. And crucially, Failer will rejoin behind Hittinen and Scrippy, so hopefully both Mercs will hold up those guys a little bit. Lap 17, another 1 minute 9.8 as Kulachu pits, and we are now going to be in the lead of this race. And I actually took a decision here to go a little bit longer on my tyres, just because I wanted to have fresher tyres at the end. Normally you can pit around lap 18 or 19 around here, but I wanted to extend my stint. I felt like my pace was pretty good. And you can see behind now, Norbert Jakob and Failer are battling for the net race lead, and they're going to catch up to the Mercedes cars very soon. So I thought to myself, okay, you know what, I can kind of keep that gap. And you can see now lap 20, the gap is still 10 seconds to Jan Failer pretty much. So I didn't lose much by staying out a bit longer, and we are going to benefit from having a few laps fresher tyres, and the softs will hold on for a lot longer. Pretty good pit entry, nice and clean. Lap 20 now that we're going to pit, and we're going to strap on a set of the soft compound tyres and basically go absolutely full send in this second stint. So as you can see, a standard 2.6 pit stop, and we're going to get underway on the soft tyres here. And this was crucial actually on the pit exit. You can see Zoran approaching in the Ferrari. because I got the soft tyres on, I've got a lot of confidence and grip. I was able to keep the throttle absolutely pinned through the exit here, through the left, absolutely flat out, and I just about rejoined in front of him, which was so key, because heading into the middle sector, you don't want to get held up here. So a really important phase and moment in the race as we rejoin ahead of the Ferrari, and we're already P7, so at worst this race we're going to finish in 7th place, but we know Christian Sendel has a 3-second time penalty. Lap 22 we set a 1:08.4, new fastest lap, absolutely flying on these tyres. And the chase was on. You can see the gap has already come down to 3.5 seconds, so about 2 seconds I gained on that first lap alone, and then by lap 26 we was onto the back of these guys. A bit of a DRS train here, so I've got to be clever. I've got still plenty of DRS, about 50%, and I've got to try and use it wisely, because again these guys are in a DRS train, so it's quite hard to make the right pass as we set another fastest lap on lap 26. And you can see now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, and if we get past all of these then we will be on the podium, simple as that. So we're going to try and make those moves straight away. So first of all, Christian Sendel in the Ferrari. I knew I had a big tyre grip difference on these soft tyres, so we are going to try and be aggressive here. So I'll take a nice wide line. He actually runs it a bit hot on the brakes, and I'm going to use these tyres with the grip and the traction to just make a nice smooth overtake around the outside of the Ciudad del Lago, I believe, and make the nice tidy overtake. Bit of a scruffy exit, but we got away with that one luckily thanks to the DRS. And also Christian knows there's no point in re-challenging me anyway, as we got to lap 28. We're now behind Kalachu and Bogin, so we're going to try and make a move here. I know Kalachu's running very low on ERS, and he makes a bit of a mistake. They're running a bit wide, and I'm going to try and go for an absolute send here on the brakes down the inside. You saw his light flashing, so he has less than 10% ERS left, but we absolutely send one around the outside and make it an absolute beauty for P5. And up next is XPG Bogin in the Williams. So far, these overtakes are going really well. We're getting them done first time of asking, not getting stuck behind anybody, and I've still got plenty of ERS. I've not used any of it, in these battles, which is really important. And we're now going to try and get past the Williams here of Bogin on lap 29. So I'm going to, I was going to go for the move, but to my surprise, it looks like Bogin did have a lot of energy saved up, and he absolutely drains the battery. You can see the difference in straight line speed to try and put a move on Brownie. He knows I'm going to challenge, and he's trying to put Brownie between himself and me. So I'm going to use that to my advantage here. We get such a great run through 1, 2, and 3, and I get right in the slipstream here. I'm a bit boxed in, but I'm going to try and force my way out there as we go down towards turn 4. We're going to so close, try and go for one around the outside. We get the cut back on, and we get very close to having some contact there as we get squeezed into the apex. Bogin trying to re-challenge me here, but we're going to send it around the outside. Bryony's light was flashing, so we know he's pretty low on ERS, as I almost run into the back of him there, into the hairpin. But we're now P4, and we've made another move. That was a bit of a trickier one, that one. Didn't quite go as smooth as planned, but to be fair, they made it a bit hard for me this time round. But now we're going to try and get past Bryony here, and I'm being patient, showing a bit of racecraft. There's no point in rushing. I may as well, try and get the engine temperatures under control, save a bit more ERS, and we're just going to wait to the pit straight because, Bryony will be a sitting duck. So you can see here, I use a little bit of ERS, but not all of it. I'm trying to save it because I know Bryony will run out at the end of the straight. So I may as well just hold on and use it later on in the straight if I need it, because at this point I don't really need it. The pace is pretty good, and to be fair, Brownie's letting me go. So we're going to go through down the inside and move up to P3, and we're now on the podium in this race with 6 laps to go. And the gap to the leaders is 3.4 seconds. So we've got to try and get that gap down. And to be fair, I tried my hardest. I had to shake off Brownie because I had to drop him out of the RS range, but also close the gap. And I did do that. I got the gap down to 2.5. You can see there to Norbert Jakob. I also managed to break DRS on lap 33 to Brownie, which was really important as well. But it wasn't enough, unfortunately. I just started to run out of tyres at this stage of the race, running out of fuel, running out of ERS. You can see now, last lap of the race, I got the gap down to 1.9, but that was the closest I got. My tyres were starting to go. You can see in the bottom right, they're orange. And yeah, in the end, it's going to be a podium for us and P3. And to say we started last place, we're going to finish 2.5 seconds off the race winner. So a decent race and yet another podium for us in this league. And again, just, underlining the consistency we've had all season long. And, even starting from the back of the grid, we can still pull it off. And I'm going to try this challenge again in the last race in Abu Dhabi, guys. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, you guys checking out twitch.tv/Tom97HD. Link down below in the description. So Sunday night, 8 PM UK time, guys. I'll try and do this again for the finale of the league. And you can see the confirmation of the results. And to be fair, a good day in the office. You know, I'm going to take that. A podium is a good result in my book every single day of the week, and especially when there was only one Red Bull, and that was Dylan Warren, and he finished P15 in this race. We outscored Red Bull by quite a lot in the championship. Florian also picks up 1 point as well. GG to Fela, you know, that's a long overdue win for him. He fully deserved it, and I'll take my podium and move on to the next race. So yeah, we move into the driver standings after that one, and with one race to go, we are 15 points away from potentially hitting 300 points. So yeah, we're going to try and aim for that goal in the finale, of course. I need 15 points, so essentially the same race again in Abu Dhabi. They got to Paris now 77 points and over 100 points to Bafeda in third place. Florian Napik drops to P12 as Kalachu overtakes him in P11 there. And yeah, it's all to play for in the final race for Florian. He can hopefully finish in the top 10 if he gets the podium, and we're going to try and hit 300 points. So yeah, looking forward to it. We finally look at the constructor standings, and of course after that race, due to Paris not turning up and Warren finishing outside the points, we are now 28 points clear of Red Bull Racing, and it's looking pretty good to wrap it up. You know, I also got the fastest lap in that race, I believe, so yeah, happy days. Unless it's an absolute disaster in Abu Dhabi, it's going to be a Constructors' Championship as well, so I'm very happy about that. And it's been a great season all round. You know, hopefully we can make it the double, drivers and constructors. But guys, that is going to be it from me here today for this episode. Thank you to all the members of the channel for supporting. As always, I really appreciate it. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe for more, check out on screen the previous episode, and I'll see you guys next time for the finale in Abu Dhabi. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.